Okay, so in today's video, I want to talk about how to increase show up rates. We're going to cut straight to the chase and talk about the top 5 ways that you can boost your show up rate for your call funnel so you can ultimately make more revenue, right? That's kind of the reason. If you don't know me already though, my name is Reuben Shears. I have an online funnel building agency called Optimally that I'm kind of building and scaling in public in these daily update videos, trying to give you as much value as possible. We're on, I think, video 77 out of 100. After that, I'll drop to weekly, increase the quality and go from there. I'm quite happy because I've been able to get into a meeting room at the hotel today. So I've got a kind of nice little setup in here. But let's just talk about and dive straight in to why show rates actually matter, right? So I'm going to show you a simulation of a 50% show rate versus an 85% show rate of a stereotypical funnel, right? So let's say you get 1,000 visitors to your website. You can see that's consistent across both simulations here. And you get 30 bookings as a result because your landing page is exactly the same. That said though, if you have a 50% show up rate, you're going to get 15 showing calls from 30 bookings, obviously. And if you have an 85% show up rate, which is what I've actually had an 89% show up rate over the last month, then you're going to get 25.5 showing calls, which are opportunities, obviously, to close people. And as a result, you would get 5 closes as opposed to the beneficial 8.5 closes by boosting your show rate. And you can see that if you had a 5K offer, that would translate to 25K revenue if you only had 5 closes and 42.5K revenue if you had 8.5, which is obviously a difference of like 17.5K. And that's on a small scale, really, because 30 bookings isn't a crazy amount per month. You can see that this would obviously scale massively if you had a bigger company. And the difference in total revenue would be ridiculous if you did not have your show rate in KPI. And I know that 50% is pretty common in most people that I talk to, right? We want to get it above 85%, and I want to show you in today's video how to actually do that. So let's go back over here. So like I say, it's about framing yourself as an authority. You, for a fact, know that if you booked a call with Alex Hormozy 6 months from now, you still rock up to that call. And that's the thing that people don't think about. It's to do with your level of authority compared to the prospect. So let me just talk through kind of step number 1 of increasing your show up rate, which is, I suppose, to an extent unorthodox, and it's maybe something that you haven't thought about before, is utilizing the power of organic content. So videos like this one where I'm breaking down and giving you value are extremely important to increasing the show up rate on your actual sales calls. Because what you can do is you can send these videos to people and have them binge watch them. Say you've got a YouTube channel with 70 videos on like me, you can let them do that and they're going to get far more used to who you are as a person before they even jump on the call with you. And that's going to make them more likely to show up. If you have a big brand already and you have loads of followers, then that's also going to be super, super helpful because the social proof that you know what you're doing is already there because you're being followed by people, right? So there is that. The power of utilizing organic content. Something else to note as well, if you want to get super techie with it, is you can actually use this successful organic content that you've seen work in the past and retarget the people that have booked with your paid ads to see that content, right? So the second they book, when they go back on Instagram in the next few days before they take the call with you, they're going to get blasted with like 50 different videos of you talking about what they've basically booked in for, right? Super important, and you can leverage that. So that's a nice little show rate tip for you there. Second one is pretty obvious. It's consistent and well-timed, automated, multi-channel reminder sequences. I don't know why I made that so long-winded. The reality is it's basically email and SMS reminders in a timely manner to ensure that people just literally don't have the issue of not adding it to their calendar. You'd be remarkably surprised how many people don't show up to calls because it's literally not on their calendar. And we want to make sure that's the case. So the reminders will be like, obviously as soon as they book in, but a 24-hour email reminder, 12-hour SMS, 3-hour email reminder, 1-hour SMS, and maybe even just a few more before they even jump on then, just to really make sure that if you've got the right number and email, they are rocking up to that call. So the basic stuff for that one. In those reminder emails, that's an opportunity to send this type of content that I'm talking about here if you're not just running it through ads and retargeting. That's something to keep in mind. Nice little tip number 2. Number 3 is a personal touch, right? So if you don't have a company that's like pulling in over 1,000 leads a month, you can do this if you systemize it in the right way. And it's adding this personal touch to every single lead that you talk to. A way of doing that, for example, is either dialing them up before they have the actual sales call, right? If you have a setter, or you can do it yourself, you can do this. Say the morning of the call that they're going to have, you just phone them up saying, basically like just introducing yourself and making sure they're going to show up, and maybe asking them a few other questions as well in preparation. Maybe whether they've watched the VSL and that sort of stuff. It's nice to get that info up front. So that's going to massively increase show up rate if you do that. I started doing it as well. And then what you can also do is send an iMessage video, right? So a blue text from your personal phone, just like an actual personalized message with their name in, talking about how excited you are for the discovery session with them on the day. That's going to massively help too. Number 4 is resending the thank you page with the VSL social proof and full service breakdown, right? So if you watched my videos before, you know I've talked about using this concept of a thank you page, a confirmation page, much more than people usually do, right? Because we have the power to redirect people once they book, but what we can also do is use that page as an asset in the kind of the pre-call process. We send them the link to the thank you page that has the VSL on. It has the full service breakdown of what you do and how you do it. And then the social proof as well, like literally the testimonials to prove it. That's going to massively increase show up rate as well, because it builds this rapport with them where you are now the authority. And when you're the authority, like I said earlier with the Alex Hormozy example, you will get more showroom calls. And then step number 5 is a really neat one. Again, you'd be surprised how much of an impact this actually has on show up rate. It's shortening the calendar availability in terms of days, right? I see people come into working with me who have their calendars open for the next 2 months. It's just ridiculous. If you want to maximize the amount of sales that you get, you need to reduce the sales cycle. And if you can do that artificially with reducing the calendar slots, then that's extremely helpful. So I would say same day, next day. And if you want to add an extra day after that, then you can. And then that's when people can book in. And then you just have the maximum amount of slots that you can have. So literally 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. if you can. I know that we're all kind of busy in the evenings, but if you can do that, that's going to increase the amount of bookings you're going to get, as well as the amount of shown calls that you're going to get, because the time between them booking and taking the call is minimized. And that means they're thinking about you and they haven't forgotten who you are. If they book in 2 months' time, they are not going to show up to that firstly, and they're not even going to remember who you are if they do. And that's the issue with that. Hopefully that makes sense on the increasing show up rates. I'm definitely going to use this as an asset just in the business anyway. When people say I'm not getting enough showroom calls, I'm just going to send them this video because it's definitely the one to help out with that. And I've used these exact strategies for my own business and my clients so far, and it's been really, really powerful. Let's end the video by doing what we usually do, which is check the growth on YouTube and check the growth on LinkedIn. 9434, cool. 163 on YouTube. So we gained a subscriber, lovely. Good growth. There we go. There's my growth on YouTube over time. And there is my growth on LinkedIn over time. You can see it's an upward trend due to my consistency, despite having days like this where I've had not a great day today. I won't disclose what that is, but it's not been great. Other than that, if you want to watch another one of these videos, you should get some value from the one that's on the screen right now. And I wish you a very good rest of the day.